Gyarados 21 is absolutely beautiful, and today on Guess That Grade, we're going to go over the card, look at it, and decide whether it's worth grading, as well as accurately guess the grade we might get back from the grading company, which in this case is Degree. So let's pull up Gyarados 21 on price charting just to get an idea of what it's going to cost, and then let's talk about the value and decide whether is this actually worth grading. Is this something that you would submit yourself? After looking at price charting, I noticed that the values were not very high. So I pulled up eBay and looked at PSA 10s for English, and they are significantly higher than what price charting is saying for recent sales. So here's the value of the card. We're looking at the grading and shipping fee as well as insurance to get the total cost. And from there, we have to decide, is this actually worth grading? Is there a profit that's coming out of it? And if you go with the PSA 10 or 9, we're absolutely making a profit. However, Degree doesn't have much information behind it, so I don't know. But I would say it's about a 20 to 30% reduction in cost. Now for the centering step, what we're going to do is put this clear glass down, which I actually took from one of my photo albums, and I just put it on there. It's a little smudged, but that's okay. And I'm using that so I can press down the card to be as flat as possible. So when I go and take an actual image on the centering app tool, it's as flat as it can be. Now keep in mind there is some errors that can happen. In this case, it's trying to get the phone now as flat as the table. And if you don't get that straight on, then you're still not going to get a flat card. So there is a minor degree of error that can happen just on human error alone, right? So I did this, and then you put it in there, and then you kind of measure each part. So you get the external width and then the internal border width of each section. And you can see at the top there, it'll give you the measurements you need in order to actually determine whether that's gem mint quality for whoever you're submitting your grade to or not. And in this case, it's a little bit off of gem mint for what is considered good for Degree grading. But we're going to do that for the front and back. And this is the overall outcome for that. Now after doing the centering, we're going to look at the card surface, which is very, very particular, and there's so many things you have to look at when you're doing this. One of the first things I like to do is have a small aim when I'm looking at the card. So at first I'll look actually at the borders to see if there's any speckling or any kind of discoloration on the border itself, because that's very easy to identify. And then I start at the top and I just scan from left to right, and I just go up and down, all the way down to the card, and then I flip and do the back, and I do the exact same thing there. That's sort of my best practice. I don't know what professional graders do, but I find that if I look at the whole card in its entirety, I'm looking at too much and I miss the small details. And so I wanted to make sure I take my time. In addition to that, if I do identify a small error, I'll pull out my handy dandy microscope here, and I'll actually go through and look at like a 10 times magnification. You can see some black dots that are across the border that I did definitely see, but I want to make sure that those are dots. Are they dents? Are they factory issues or anything like that? Or are they just smudges that I might be able to clean out of the card before grading, and that way I can, increase that rating a little bit if possible. And in here you can see some discoloration that I pointed out there. You can see obviously some very light scratches in the hollow, and it's very obvious throughout the entirety of that front and back of the card. It's not just a one and done. I did buy this as an LP. I think it's a little bit more than an LP in my opinion, but it is what it is, and I really love this card. It's probably one of my favorite cards. Now onto the corners and edges. This is actually really frustrating because the edges can sometimes be considered surface area as well, so it's hard not to double ding. So I try to keep things that are truly on the edge of the card as an edge part. Now if it's on the surface, like it's starting to creep onto the border, then I consider that part of the surface area. And I'm interested in like how Degree grading, tag, and PSA, how do they do it? I think they do it the same way I'm saying, but I'm not 100% sure, and I don't know any professional graders, so I could definitely be off. But we obviously see some whitening here on all of the edges at some point, which I'm keep on pointing out here for us, as well as some silvering. So there's definitely multiple specks. That's gonna definitely drop that grade down. And then as we go into the corners, you can see some whitening on that bottom right, the top left, top right, and that just hurts us a little bit. So tell me, what is your grade for this card? What do you think is going to come back from Degree grading? Again, this is actually more strict than PSA. PSA is human. There's a lot of error that happens as a result of that. So I'm interested to see what Degree gives me. I think it's going to get a pretty low score. I think I put a 7, and I think it might get a higher score when I go to PSA. And that's something I actually would really like to do. Is I'm going to get the Degree one done because it's cheap, it's part of my personal collection, and it's a high quality review. It just unfortunately does not sell as much as other grading companies, and I really like the tag slabs. So I'm trying to decide if this card should go to tag, or if I should send this over to PSA, leave it the way it is, and just see what kind of grade they give me. Are they going to give me a higher score or a lower score? So if you're interested in me doing something like that, please leave a comment down below and let me know you're interested. On top of that, let me know if the grade is different for PSA. If you're interested in this journey, you want to see it for the big reveal when this comes out, so subscribe and follow. Until next time, keep guessing that grade.